That was quite a green wave in Game 1. Game 2 of the NBA Finals set for tomorrow night in the Bay Area. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the early Saturday edition of CBS Sports HQ, presented by Capital One. With Sherry Burris, I'm Russ Thaler.
Well, basketball fans thought they knew how the series was going to turn out. Golden State with all the experience, but it was the Celtics showing they're the true Warriors, taking Game 1 on the road, and stealing a win on the road means we have ourselves a series. All right, looking ahead to Game 2 of the NBA Finals, we're talking prop bets for the best on the floor. To that, we bring in our best Wizard of Odds, Kenny White, and NBA analyst Tim Doyle. Good morning, guys. Steph Curry had a game-high 34 points in that loss, also racking up 5 assists and rebounds. Kenny, what's a player prop you like for Steph Curry to whip up come Game 2?
Yeah, he had a great game in Game 1, and I lost my prop bet. I had over 5.5 assists. I'm coming right back with it. And the reasoning for it is the switching defense by Boston. The first 3 series, the Celtics or the Golden State Warriors played teams that did not make switches, that fought through those picks. But then at the end, the Dallas Mavericks actually started to switch. And when they started to switch the last 3 games, it just opened up passing lanes for Steph Curry. He had 27 assists in his last 3 games versus Dallas. He had 5 assists in Game 1. They just didn't hit some shots. I think he gets 7 or 8 assists in this game. This is going to be a big game. He'll get his points, but he's going to go over 5.5 assists tonight as well.
Yeah, talk about a game that the Warriors have to win. You know, I mean, this is like one of those. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just counting my money for game number 1, guy. I had Boston money line. We had team total over. We had KLAY under. We had winners everywhere. 5-1 in game number 1. Let's come back in game number 2 and let's dissect game number 1. What did we realize? That Golden State, they're not the better team. They finally lost the game at home, and now Steph Curry has to go into game number 2. That's why I like Kenny's bet, thinking I got to have like 40 and 10. Actually, Curry's going to have to do what Luka did in the previous series where he carries his squad. So I'm going to go over his point prop. Oh, that was another winner I gave you. That was no sweat. 21 points in the first quarter. Bang down 6 threes. I think we all know it. You know what it is? It's like watching one of your favorite players, and this is one of my favorite teams, 6 finals in 8 years, get a little bit older. You know, start using that just for men like me to try to blend out those grays and add that dark hair. And like they're starting to creep where 1 or 2 steps down the hill. They don't win this game. This series is obviously over. So this is a game that I expect Curry to come out. The light is always green. It's going to be more green in this affair. I think he's going to do a little bit of everything. Over points. Kenny's got over assists.
A little bit of desperation for the Warriors in Game 2. Kenny, let's flip things over to the Celtics side of things. JAYSON Tatum was more of a creator than a scorer in that Game 1 win. 13 assists to just 12 points. What's the best prop bet you got for Tatum in Game 2?
Yeah, he wasn't a scorer because he was 3 for 17 from the field. And, you know, I've been reading some things that, you know, these big games and under these big situations, maybe he's not the guy to rise up to do it. Maybe he is. I went under. I gave you a winner on that, under 28.5 points in Game 1. It's down to 26.5 points. I'm going to go under again. I'm going to keep riding it, you know. And the big thing is Andrew Wiggins' defense. It's tremendous. So that's one thing the Warriors will need to do. They'll need to step the defense up a little bit more. But I'm going to go under 26.5 with Tatum.
I'm on the opposite side. Here's why, Kenny. I'm going to give you some data to maybe back up. He had some poor games in the previous series, all right? He had 10 points against Miami. How did he follow up the next game? 31. He had only 10 points against Milwaukee. How did he follow up that next game? 30. You know, Luka Doncic also struggled massively in the second half of game number 1. Let's not take anything away from the Warriors. They've been in the finals 6 out of 8 years because obviously they have really good players. They also have a coaching staff that's elite. And I think JAYSON Tatum's going to make adjustments from an offensive standpoint. That's why everybody, this series is over. You're talking about one of the best offensive players in the league. He played terrible in game number 1. And they still won. So, like, you might want to fight it and stuff. The odds makers aren't right now because Boston is nearly minus 200 to win this series. So I've seen Tatum make adjustments, Sherry and Russ. I think he makes adjustments again. Sorry, Kenny, I'm going over.
You make good points there for it. But let's talk on the other side. Usually good things happen in the NBA Finals with KLAY Thompson on the floor there for Golden State. Tim, what's a player prop standing out to you for this splash brother?
You know, I love KLAY Thompson. I root for KLAY Thompson. Here's a guy who's come back from multiple injuries and all that adversity, but your mind's telling you one thing, but your body is telling you something else. Okay, 11 games in this postseason. 11. I still like his music. All right, off the mic, we all know issues. 11 games in this postseason, under 20 points. So he's had these blips where you're like, "Ooh, he's back. He's back. He's not back, and he's not moving the same." And we talked about Boston switching defense. They found him in transition. If I was guarding him, he would score at will if I'm 39 years old and I was tired from mulching yesterday. But if I was guarding him, I would just force him to drive. Like if he makes 10 two-pointers, congratulations. Like you're not going to just catch and shoot on me. I'd run 2 guys at him. That's what Boston did. So he's just not the same player anymore. He just doesn't have the same spark in his ignition.
Tim was mulching and I was juicing yesterday. It's not as strenuous to juice, and you know what? It actually tastes better than mulching. I agree with you, everything you're saying, and the numbers are telling me I should be going under with Klay Thompson. But you said it. If the Warriors don't get this game, the series is over. And I said before the series, what do I do here? All of the experience in the NBA Finals goes to the Golden State Warriors. And I didn't have a play on game 1 on the side. I played the total. I played it over because there's so many elite scorers on both sides. But Klay Thompson, all the hard work he's put in over the last 2 years with the knee injury, the Achilles injury, he is back and he wants this more than anything. I just have a hunch. The Warriors have to have this game. Klay Thompson's going to have a big game in game 2. I'm going over.
We're learning a lot of stuff today. Doyle's knee-deep in the mulch. The Wizards on the juice. It's kind of amazing. Tim, I'm coming back to you. It's being hailed as one of the great comebacks in NBA Finals history. And after leading the Seas with 26 points, it was Al Horford who was asked what was causing all of this, like Ric Flair. Horford simply said, "I think for us, the key was Jaylen Brown." So what's the best prop bet for your choice for Jaylen Brown in game 2?
I have a Ric Flair story, okay, but I can't tell it on air. So Russ, maybe a martini or 2. I can get into a Ric Flair story. We got to bring our producer.
You'll get a woo out of me.
Yeah, we'll get Rich, our producer, out there. I know he likes those blue cheese stuffed olives. This one I don't have a strong opinion on. Like, we have to do so many picks, and trust me, when I win, I let everybody know. He took 23 shots to get to those 24 points, and I felt like he had to be more aggressive because Tatum was struggling so much. So I'm going to kind of correlate this with my Tatum pick, that if I have Tatum going over, then I'm going to have Brown going under. So just because I don't think he's going to have the same shot attempts, and I think Tatum's going to step up and have a big performance, but no strong feeling. He was a difference maker clearly in game number 1. And speaking of Al Horford, not only winning on the court, winning off the court as well. Married Miss Universe. They have 4 beautiful children. Man, I was having a really good Saturday until I started talking about Al Horford. And now I realize how depressing my life is with 3 kids in a minivan. So I guess I just really want to be Al Horford deep down inside. As far as Brown, I'm going to go under on it.
Tim's the only guy that has his own chauffeur, though, for his minivan. He's got somebody who drives him around everywhere he goes in. And those blue cheese olives, make sure it's an odd number, right, Tim? 1 or 3. Sometimes if the toothpick's big enough, go with 5. But you got to stay with the odd numbers. So, Tim, it's funny. My play with Jaylen Brown is correlated as well with Tatum because I like Tatum under. I think he continues to struggle because of Andrew Wiggins' defense. So I like Jaylen Brown over. And I bet Jaylen Brown at plus 10-1 to win the MVP. Had a nice game in game 1. If he can follow it up in game 2, but I don't know if they're going to win the game. But the other guy, I did bet Marcus Smart too, Tim. Got 40-1 on him because you got to love that defense and the offense he brings. But I'm going to go over with Jaylen Brown here in this game.
And there's a little movement on the line. Golden State is now a 4-point home favorite. Boston won game 1 as a 3.5-point underdog. Tim, you think the Warriors lock in for game 2, or are you eyeing the total here?
Jerry, I know you're a 2-3 dime a game better, okay? And if you want to bet the Warriors in this spot, I get it, right? It's Golden State. It's must win. All I have to do is lay 4 points. But my pick in game number 1 was actually correlated with game number 2. I said pick out a fixed amount and bet the Celtics on the money line. And if you win game 1, then that's it. We cash our ticket and we move on. So that's what I ended up doing. So in game number 2, my opinion's not that strong. But what I did see with my own eyes was the Celtics' best player had arguably one of his worst games of the season and they still won. And my handicapping coming into the series is, think about the teams that they played. They were tournament tested. The Warriors were not. Golden State beat, Jokic with not much of a supporting cast. Ja Morant didn't play in the series against Memphis, and then they avoided Phoenix, and they played Dallas where, Luka didn't have the same amount of help as balanced as maybe Tatum has with the Celtics. That's just fact. So Boston was tournament tested, and guys, it showed in game number 1 because they were down 14 in the third quarter with under a minute left, and then they ended up winning the game by double digits. So Kenny, I don't really feel that strong about it. I thought they would win one on the road. We both had the Celtics in the series, so I'll take the points, but it's not really that strong of a play.
Yeah, I have the Celtics for the series, so trying to change the numbers here, though. I made the game 4 in game 1. I made a point adjustment. I raised the Celtics rating up after game 1, so I made the game 3. But as you said, Sherry, they're trying to revenge that loss, and they have to get back into the series. And the series is over if they don't win. So it's a 2.5 point adjustment for me. I made Golden State 5.5 in the game. And Tim, Tatum may have had a bad game. The rest of the team shot 20 for 36 from 3-point range. I just can't see that happening again. I think Steve Kerr and Curry and Thompson and Green, they all make adjustments for game 2 on Sunday. And I think they come up with a big effort here. So I'm laying the 4.
Yeah, I like the strong takes there. Tim, twice now I've heard you say, I don't have a strong opinion on things. Should be real interesting tonight. I'm going to make it even more interesting right now because it's what we call all on the line. It's the one bet you'd make if you're going all in. Boom or bust, Kenny. What are you going with all on the line?
Well, I gave you guys a winner on game 1 over the total because there's so much firepower on both sides. And the pace, there wasn't a lot of pace. The defenses are still very good. There was only 94 possessions for each team. And if we can continue to get 94 possessions, we should be able to get over 215 points in game 2. So I'm going to go over the total. That's my all on the line play.
Whenever I'm around Kenny White, it's only been twice. Okay, it was at the Super Bowl and it was at the Final Four. I always touch his shoulders because I'm like, give me the energy, wizard. Give me the energy, wizard. You feel the wizard energy off of there. So I'm not necessarily going to take his exact bet, but I'm going to go back to Boston, who Kenny said it best, 50% from the field, 50% from 3, banged down 23, scored 120 points. And you got to remember, right? No Bam Adebayo, no Jimmy Butler, no PJ Tucker, no Giannis, no Drew Holiday, no Durant. We're talking about some of the best on-ball defenders in the entire NBA that Boston had to see. And now it's the Warriors, come on, it's just not the same level. And, they got into an offensive rhythm, even though Tatum had struggled. So, yes, it all started like this. A boy, a ball, and a dream, okay?
Yes.
And I never thought in my day I would meet a Kenny White to lead me. Can I ask Kenny one simple question?
Sure.
Are you my dad?
That is fantastic. I love when Tim brings out the old photos.
Yeah, I just worry that Kenny's going to fire some fireball at him because he's a wizard. Let's recap a little bit of some of these bets we've been talking about today, all right? We're going to put up a full screen and show you what these guys are picking as to what we're looking at in game 2 between the Celtics and the Warriors. That's Sunday night again out by the Bay.
All right, now let's build a little something here, Kenny. What is a Celtics-Warriors parlay that you like coming up for Sunday?
Yeah, let's go same game and kind of correlate it. The Warriors minus the 4, over 215, and then Steph Curry over 28.5 points. Obviously, if they're going to win the game, Steph's going to have a monster game. He'll go over his number. So that parlay right there, plus 420 on your money.
Yeah, I kind of have the same thought process, Dad, but just a little bit different to the picks, okay? I have the Celtics plus the points. I have them going over their team total, right? 120 in game 1, 21-3. So I feel confident about that, and I think Tatum ends up eating in this spot. Speaking of eating, Dad, where are we going for dinner tonight?
Oh, my goodness, these two, just too much. All right, guys, we appreciate the time. Enjoy your lunch, wherever Dad takes Tim.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.